So when somebody says, I miss you, that is going to mean something completely different if it is coming from the mouth of an SE user or if it's coming from the mouth of an SI user. My name is Meghan LeVota. I'm an ENFJ, and I'm here to not give you a hard and fast rule. This, what I'm about to say should not be used to type someone, but what I am trying to sort of illustrate is that the way that we perceive words is a lot more important than the words we're using. And I'm going to start by giving an example of how the words I miss you might mean something completely different, even though we might all speak the same language, or even if you're using a different language. The words we're using is a lot less important than what we mean by what we're saying. And I think a lot of people like to type people based on what they're saying, what they're doing, all of those things, when really these things are limiting. And so, okay, for example, if an SE user says, I miss you, what that likely means is something completely different from if an SI user was saying it. An SE user is going to be more focused on the physical now, but maybe focused on the conceptual over time, the conceptual in the past, the conceptual in the future. So it is a lot less likely for an SENI user to be focused on a specific physical memory of the past. When they say, I miss you, likely the SE user is, at an event right now that they wish that you were in, that you were at. Or maybe they were at work and they are thinking right now, man, I wish that I was at home with you. Man, I'm at this concert. I wish you were here. Or maybe if an SE user says, I miss you, maybe they are, remembering that you used to embody that space that they're in. Whereas if an SI user says, I miss you, chances are they have a memory that they had of you that they are thinking about in their brain, like an actual event, an actual specific sensory moment that they miss. So this is kind of a short video, and I don't really have much to say other than that. And just because you're an SE user doesn't mean that you're never going to think of a memory in the past, but SE and NI as an axis is a lot more likely to engage with the sensory of right now. They're going to think about the space they're in, and they're going to think, man, I wish I was in another space, or I wish that this person was in this space with me, or I wish, that I can go to this thing with this person. That would be really fun, as opposed to being set on that one time when there was a flicker in their eye and they, gave me a kiss before bedtime, or like that little oh, I remember exactly the way the light looked on your face. I don't relate to that personally. I have an SI blind spot. So perhaps SPs or other people who use SE and NI might be more likely to sort of see both of those things. But what I want to really illustrate is that when we use words, we are trying to match up what our experience is with the word. The word does not define our experience. And humans, we do our best to pick the right words to use, but really, language is limiting. Just because I'm saying I miss you and somebody else is saying I miss you doesn't mean that we're experiencing the same phenomenon. And I personally believe that, SE and NI users experience reality a lot differently than NE and SI users. And this is just one small example of how a phrase can be interpreted so differently. So if an SE user says I miss you, maybe they aren't dwelling on anything at all. Maybe they are just thinking about, maybe they're just at a place where they wish you were at. But if an SI user says that they miss you, perhaps nothing in the sensory world even reminded them of you at all. Perhaps they just are sort of in a different world. And, you know, that's how NE and SI work together, is that NE is that imagination, whereas NI is more of that understanding. You know, this is just my interpretations of Jungian functions, and the archetypes as I see them. I am working on, you know, sort of creating these definitions to better explain what I mean. But whenever anybody is talking, they all chose that word for a reason, and they are perceiving that word differently based on their perceiving functions, and so therefore they're meaning something different. So if you really want to get to know somebody, and if you really want to get to know somebody, really try and figure out what they mean by what they're saying. Don't just take the words at face value and assume that they mean what you mean. This is how a lot of misunderstandings can come to be. And this is also how a lot of mistypings can come to be, is if you perceive, oh, I miss, as someone being stuck in the past, and you perceive, you know, the past or whatever as SI, which is not true. But, you know, and then you just hear those words, and then you just sort of put it in your brain as an algorithm, and you think, oh, they've got to be this type, because all the things that they were saying remind me of, you know, this type. And just, I guess I'm saying, be skeptical of the words that people use, because we use them for different reasons. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. Do you have any other examples of a phrase and how two different types could mean something completely different and be thinking of something completely different in their brain? Comment below if you have any ideas. If you'd like to join my free Facebook group or my Discord server, or not mine, but a Discord server that I participate in, and you know, any other links will be below. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.